Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with Hasbro's Transformers Studio Series 86 Deluxe Class Kranix. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And here on the top, we got the pig hooky thing, some pieces of tape. Transformers Le Film Kranix. And he's Autobot. No, he's not. Takara Tomy. Moving around to the front. Oh, yeah, we forgot. A little bit of a window right there. I don't really know why, but it's there. Maybe to let some light in, but I don't think so, because it doesn't go far enough back. But anyway, it wraps around to the front where there's a nice size window showcasing the majority of the figure. More than meets the eye. Transforms in 20 steps. From robot to UFO. 8 and up. There's some nice artwork of Kranix in his robot and alt mode. Transformers Studio Series. The Transformers, the movie Kranix. Hasbro print on the bottom. Small print, fine print, legalese print, made in China print. Nope, made in Vietnam print. Symbols I'm not going to learn. And includes figure and one piece. Not an accessory even, just a piece. So on this side, we've got some nice artwork of Kranix in his robot mode. It says Kranix Transformers Studio Series, the Transformers, the movie. And then on this side, the artwork from the front here wraps around to this side. You can show him holding his weapon or his not accessory, his one piece. And then Autobot logo, Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class. And then finally around here on the back, Transformers the movie, Kranix. Kranix encounters Hot Rod and Cup after they are captured by the Quintessons. What? And there's some artwork of him in jail. And then there's, I'm guessing, a nice digital render of Kranix in both modes. Again, transforms in 20 steps. Small print, fine print, legalese print, made in Vietnam print. Warning! Attention! Achtung! Don't stick things in any language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to babies. Hasbro print and a barcode. Also, more than meets the eye, authentic. That, my friends, completes our look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and accessories in alt mode. And we'll start with the handy dandy instruction manuals. Got a nice drawing or line artwork of Kranix there. Transformers Studio Series, the Transformers the movie, the Transformers Le Film Kranix. Retain the instructions for future reference. And here on the inside of the instructions, I won't go over all of these, but as you can see, they're nicely illustrated and very clean illustrations, meaning no blurring or doubling or anything like that. And fairly easy to follow. Now let's take a look at Kranix himself in his alt mode. And his accessory, the gun piece here, is part of his alt mode. And I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, I'm not a big fan of this. This was taken from the Marvel Comics, either the adaptation of the Transformers the movie or from Transformers Universe, which was like their Marvel Universe books, only it was Transformers. And I can't remember which. It might have been in both, but I'm going to go ahead and say, you know, even based on those illustrations, this isn't a great alt mode. It is okay. It's an alt mode. And even those illustrations, those old Marvel illustrations of this particular alt mode, I was never a super fan of. But it is Kranix. We haven't gotten him before. And I like the fact that they did go back and reference that old Marvel stuff for this alt mode. I mean, it's nice that they're looking at that. But as far as this alt mode itself, it is not great. We got a little bit of paint here on the toe claws. Actually, not even that. It's a separate piece in there, it looks like. Might be some paint here on this part. This part and the two little exhaust pieces, I suppose. Got some paint up here on the head, here and here, and the eyes. Maybe the face as well, or it could be molded in that color. And a little bit of paint right here, but just overall, I'm not a fan of this alt mode at all. I mean, again, I like the fact that they accessed or they went back and looked at that Marvel artwork and kind of extrapolated this from it. But yeah. So there you have it, my friends. A look at the figure and accessories in alt mode. It's time for alt mode comparisons. And here we have the Transformers Studio Series 86, the Transformers the movie Deluxe Class Kranix, with the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy Quintesson Pit of Judgment Kranix, who has no alt mode, and the Transformers Studio Series 86, the Transformers the movie Deluxe Class Sharktacon Gnaw. For our last set of alt mode comparisons, here we have the Transformers Studio Series 86, the Transformers the movie Deluxe Class Kranix, with the Transformers Titans Returns Legends Class Bumblebee, and the Amazon exclusive Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy Earthrise Leader Class Alternate Universe Optimus Prime. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the comedy portion of our show where I attempt to transform this Transformer. So let's see how bad I do at it. So first up, we want to pull his little gun off. So we'll go ahead and do that. Then we want to flip his hands out. And I'm using the gun because I can't get my fat fingers in there to do it. So once you got that, the hands flipped out, these pieces right here you want to take and flip up, and there's a slot right there, and there's a little tab right there, and that is where this connects to when he's in alt mode, or when you're transforming him to alt mode. And then you flip the wing here down. You want to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side here. Put that in, flip that down. Then take the arms, and they're hinged here and here. And put them back like this. And you have to work both of those hinges to get them into position there. So next up, we want to separate the legs, and they just tab in like this circular post here goes in this circular port, and this slot right here is for this tab. So once you've got those separated, you want to go ahead and straighten the legs out, and then it's hinged here at the knee, and then there's a hinge in here as well. And then you can fold that up, and then do the same thing over here, and then fold that up, and then the legs or the feet. Yeah, just the feet you take and turn with the longest of his toe claw doodads forward, if that's forward. I can't remember. We'll see in a minute. I think that's forward. So then we also want to separate the legs, because you can see right here these two tabs, they tab in to the legs up here. And it's hinged here in the back and on this piece, and it just folds up like that. Then this piece folds down, and then this piece folds down right here, and then right here you want to make sure you fold this piece in, and then that piece also folds in like that. And then you can put this back in place, and you can see it's got two slots right here and two tabs right there to just kind of hold it in position. Then you flip this little piece up, and then, which is easier said than done. We'll come back to that in just a minute. So turn the arms down like that, and then bend them at the elbow and give them a twist. And same thing on this side. Give a little twist, straighten it up. Now maybe I can get my fat fingers in here. And you just tilt the head forward. And then you just take his gun and put it in his hands. And there, my friends, we have Kranix. Oops. He was too far back. Kranix all transformed there. Let's take a look at Kranix in his robot mode. And I have to say, it's, you know, it's mostly looks like his appearance in the movie, sculpt wise, color wise, but you know, we really didn't get to see him very long in the movie as it was. But I like the colors on the top of the head here, and the face, the eyes, and the mouth does move, but it's mostly for transformation. So, and then got a little splotch of color there, and then here in the abdomen, at the top of the knees, just over the elbows and in the elbows. But I don't think that's paint. Most of this isn't paint. I think no, there's barely any paint. I guess it's here and on the head and this piece on the back right here. And everything else appears to be colored in the appropriate plastic, or colored by the appropriate plastic. I don't know what I'm trying to say there. Anyway, it's molded in the color that it's supposed to be. So let's take a look at his articulation real quick. So as I said before, the jaw is articulated, but that's mainly for transformation. The head looks all the way up, but again, mainly that's for transformation. And then he can look down, well, not really. And then no waggle, no chicken neck, no attitude. He can do the full exorcist though. At the shoulder, he can raise it up that high on this hinge here. It does have a 360-degree rotation. It's a single hinge and swivel at the elbow. Swivels around 360 degrees. And then gives you that much bend at the elbow. He's got some up and down here at the wrist, and that's it. And up and down here at this wrist too, but that's mainly due to transformation. He does have a rotation at the waist. It is very tight, so there is that. At the hips, he gives you that much of the splits. He kicks forward that far, so that's past 90. He kicks back that far like a mule. That's way past 90. Then right above the knee joint there is a swivel. And then at the knee, it bends back that far, about 90 degrees. And then forward, it bends maybe a little better than 90 degrees. Then at the foot, it tilts up and down just barely, and it rotates, and it's got some rocker in there as well, but again, there's not a whole lot of it going on there. So there is that. And then we also have his weapon. And I have to say, it's a neat looking little piece. It's a little waffly back here in the back, but it's got some nice molded details there in the barrel, I suppose. Looks a little phallic. And it's got a port right there, and that can be used to hold it in his hand. And that's it, because the port in his back is covered up. So there's no extra storage for it, just in his hand. So there you have it, my friends. That is a look at Kranix and his accessory in robot mode. It's time for my favorite part of a Transformers review, robot mode comparisons. And here we have the Transformers Studio Series 86, the Transformers the movie, Deluxe Class Kranix, with the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy, Quintesson Pit of Judgment Kranix, and the Transformers Studio Series 86, the Transformers the movie, Deluxe Class Sharkticon Gnaw. For our last set of robot mode comparisons, here we have the Transformers Studio Series 86, the Transformers the movie, Deluxe Class Kranix, with the Transformers Titans Returns Legends Class Bumblebee, and the Walmart exclusive Netflix War for Cybertron trilogy Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime. For final ramblings on the Transformers Studio Series 86, the Transformers the movie, Deluxe Class Kranix, I will say this: not the most impressive Transformer ever. The alt mode isn't great. I like the articulation in the robot mode, and I like the overall look of the robot mode. I think it's, you know, the appropriate silhouette for the character. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was going to cancel this guy, and it came in before I could, so I just said to hell with it, because this is only the second Kranix officially that we've ever gotten, and it's the only one with articulation and transformation capabilities. So I went ahead and picked it up thinking, hey, they're probably not going to do Kranix again, or at least if they do, it's going to be a long time, or at least, you know, like, what is it, 3 to 5 years when the copyright for it comes up for renewal. But, you know, this is Kranix enough for me, I suppose. Again, the you know, the alt mode, I like that they dug deep for the alt mode and went to the old comic artwork. Not that that was the greatest stuff ever. And I say that not knowing whether or not Kranix had an alt mode in the preliminary artwork for the movie as they were planning it out, and just decided not to use it. But the only time I remember seeing any was from the comic books, and I can't remember if it was from the Marvel Comics adaptation of the Transformers the movie, or if it was from the Transformers universe published by Marvel Comics that was, you know, a rundown of all the characters, like the official handbook of the Marvel universe. I guess I'm the official handbook of the Transformers universe. That's what I should have said. But so it came from one of those two places, and I'm thinking it's more from the handbook than the movie adaptation. But it's been a long time since I've looked at either one, so I could be wrong. But, you know, I mean, this figure, it is what it is. It's basically a throwaway character from the movie. We haven't gotten an official transformable one before that I am aware of. The only other Kranix I'm aware of is the Quintesson Pit of Judgment static figure that came from the War for Cybertron trilogy. And unfortunately, I apologize, I said a lot of ums in there. I don't really have my thoughts together on this all the way, I guess. It's throwing me off a little. I want to like it, and I don't hate it, except for maybe the alt mode. I'm not real keen on the alt mode, but I don't really keep my Transformers in alt mode anyway, for the most part. Every once in a while I'll have one in the alt mode, but for the most part they stay in the robot mode. So, you know, this is how this one will stay. It's in the robot mode. And I guess the final thing on it is, I mean, you know, I'm not here to tell you how to spend your money, but, you know, if you're not a super big fan of the Transformers the movie, and you don't feel like you want every robot character from that movie, then maybe this is a pass for you. If you feel the opposite way, and excuse me for yawning, if you feel the opposite way, then this is a pickup for you. But, you know, he's just kind of meh, in my opinion. It's not great, it's not horrible. It just is. And I guess I'm glad to have a Kranix that transforms in my collection, or at least a Kranix of appropriate size. Although, unlike the previous Kranix, this one will not fit in Null's mouth completely. So there is that. So You know, if you have the Quintessant Pit of Judgment and that Kranix is a fine representation of the character for you, then, you know, again, this one might be a pass. And if not, then this one's probably a pickup. If you're just on the fence on it, yeah, I don't think we have to worry too much about him selling out. So that gives you a little more time to think about it. But, you know, that's up to you. Again, I'm not here to tell you how to spend your money. I'm just here to give you my opinion on it. And my opinion on this particular Transformer is, meh, he's okay. He's not great. He's not horrible. I have better Transformers. I have worse Transformers. So there's that. He's just kind of middle of the road, mediocre character or toy. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you'll be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.